Okay, when it comes to putting in this rough, rocky background here, or just getting a sense of the terrain, what is important is to try and get the sense of up and down so that you don't just have a flat, featureless plane. And so what I do is I go looking for anything which gives a sense of verticalness, height above the ground. And obviously you've got this hump as the railway line goes up and over the terrain here. And what's showing that hump is this big shadow. So I would go in and put in that hump like that, where it comes through. So let's say it goes like this. Here comes our railway line kind of doing that. I would put that in, and the thing to do is to make sure that you get the railway ties doing their thing so that they give you that sense of something horizontal going over the hump. Then you would end up putting in your grayness. So if we take a watercolor round brush like this, you'd have to put in your grays underneath or your black underneath. So you would go in and fill in the darkness like that, because that's a very hard shadow, and that's what's giving us the sense that that's lifted off the ground. So if you think about, let's just for a moment think about a box. If we have a box just on the ground like this, and we go and put a shadow underneath it, and let me just do this. If I go and say, okay, if I just put a shadow like that and then erase round the bottom, it immediately makes the box stand up against it gives a sense of there's a surface and the box is standing up out of the surface. So in a similar way here, the shadow is going to give you this fact that the sun is blocked out there. And then I do a similar thing with the various rocks. So find the places where there are faces or facets. So that particular one there's a surface which has got the light on it, and then there's a surface with darkness. So this, I'm just going to do it in shading like this for the dark. And then in front of it, there's another rock which has got a similar thing, but it's very irregular, as rocks tend to be. So there's a vertical face like that, which is shaded, and then there's rock like this. So I just go in and find these, a certain amount. You can't do the whole thing continuously, but if you take some of the big pieces like that far away, and you can see this, there's a ridge like this that kind of comes along here. So we're seeing the edge of a rocky ridge. Take a certain amount of this rock like this and just get a sense of almost cliff sides or rocky edges. And then as I come closer here, I'll tend to do a similar thing. So just always giving a flat edge like that, and then a sense of something, this light, and this is obviously coming from the far side here. So all our shadows are on this side. So you can end up with a bigger rock in the front like this, perhaps with shadow on that side. And you can give a little sense of a bit of ground level in front like that. Let me get rid of our box quickly. Cheerio, that box. And so that's how I go about doing it. Of course, you don't want things to carry over. Let me just merge these down so they're all in one. More haste, less speed, Alison. Okay, I'm just going to leave it like that. Merge down in one layer. Okay, so if your rocks end up overlapping each other, that's not ideal. So you want the rock behind to not overlap this one. So yeah, overlapping is obviously key. And as things come closer, the rocks might appear to get bigger, depending on whether it's shale. Obviously, these are quite big boulders, but just bringing little bits of rock like this, a few pieces with a little bit of shadow and a little bit of, make sure that it's not too even. So you don't want them all the same size. You don't want them all the same shape. The only thing that you want consistent is that the shadow at this stage is always on the same side. and you want to get a sense that they are all on flat ground wherever they happen to be, but there might be different shapes. So you can get some which are overlapping like this, and this one will be all shaded there, and then there'll be this side. So just creating the facets is what's important, and creating a bit of texture in each rock, but making sure that they are on flat ground. You create a little flat ground by having a few little lines like this on each side, and creating a sense of 3D by putting in some texture and some shading. So with these ones here, and then maybe let's go with this. This is showing the going up and over, and then the railway line actually pretty much disappears over this, and then you've got the next bit of whatever going behind there. You've got a hillside, so the ridge goes like this, and then you've got a hill behind, so you've got a ridge like this. This would be, you'd end up with a different color. So this would be a different color from the ridge behind there, which then you would have to do that in watercolor and just have a mix of different colors there. But this is how I would create this rocky ground coming towards us.